What's up, everybody? It's Jason from Straight Edge Knives. Hey, I got a video I know a few of you have been waiting for. Sorry, I got some dust on here. Guys, this is my use video for the Worktuffgear V44X Marine Raider Bowie. Designed by Reese. This guy did a phenomenal job designing this thing. If you didn't see my unboxing video and initial impressions, go back and watch that video. I talked about it a little bit more, but today this is going to be all about like the testing. Okay, this is slated to be released sometime in December. I don't have an exact release date, but sometime in December is what I was told by Vic Lin over at Worktuff. And this thing is phenomenal, and I would suggest you start saving your nickels and dimes to pick this one up, because these are going to go fast. I did an initial 30 hit chop on a 4x4 with it, and super impressed with how fast it was getting through that 4x4. I think another 20 hits and I would have been through it all the way. And we are going to be cutting that 4x4 again today. Don't you fret. I got a few other kind of materials that I could test out today as well. So that's going to be really cool. But, you know, again, let's give you a nice look at this bad boy. I mean, I did some size comparisons in my unboxing video as well. So, you know, please go back and check that out if you want to see that. I don't want to rehash that old stuff. Not really old stuff, but I don't want to rehash that and make this video longer than it has to be. But man, this thing is phenomenal. This finger choil hand fits up in there nice. I mean, when you get up here on this choil, man, you just feel like you're do some really cool close-up work. We're gonna try to do some feather sticks and stuff like that too. Nice Kydex sheath, guys. This one came with some D rings that you can attach here and here to baldric carry this. It didn't come with a tech lock. Then again, this isn't an official release, so that stuff might come in the package when you buy it. So keep that in mind. But the Kydex sheath is very nice, and you will be able to set it up with all these holes to be able to set it up however you want to carry it. So we're gonna go ahead and set that to the side. But you know what? Let's get into this stuff, guys. I mean, that's what we want to see the knife doing some cutting and whatnot, right? So right here, you know, we got just some standard jean material. You know, it's got a nice tip. Come in here, easily cut through this stuff. I know this jean material has already been sliced up quite a bit, but you know, if you had to cut your pants off because you got bit by a rattlesnake out in the woods, you could do that. So you got this piece ain't really any much better. I need to find another pair of old jeans to cut up, guys. But look, I mean, this got a nice tip to it. Oops, did I get caught on there? Oh, bam, look at that. Nice. Choke up on here. Get in there. No problem. So we can see it's got that really nice clip point. It doesn't have a sharpened edge, but it is swedged a little bit. So you know. So if you did have to get in there and do some batoning with it, you can. Let's get into the stab portion of this, guys. So here's my, you know, catalog book here that's, I don't know, 2.5 inches thick maybe. It's got a nice point here, so let's get in here and stab this bad boy a little bit. Get all the way, look at that. Tip went all the way through. The tip is right there where my finger is. I'm gonna poke myself. So it definitely pierced all the way through the book. Kind of hitting the same spot, went a little bit deeper through. It's hitting a new spot, so that way it, look at that. Again, right there, there's the tip. So I mean, this is probably going through that book, no problem. Let's chop this corner edge right here and let's see what type of. I'm going to try to hit what I think is a sweet spot right here. I'm going to hit this corner. We're going to see how well we can maybe chop the corner off on this. Let's get my chair back a little bit. So here we go. Oh, yeah, my wife's not going to be too happy because oh shit. Oh gosh, look at this guy. I can't even pick this stuff up. There's little triangles all over the grass right over here. Look at that. Cut that corner off. No problem. Through that whole book. I mean, this thing's got a wicked edge to it. I mean, there's no edge damage to this, which there shouldn't be, obviously, right? Let's look at this tip, though. Tip is still nice and sharp. One of the cool things they did with this was the reason why they didn't swedge this down so much is it gives it a lot of beef right here at the end to keep that tip nice and strong, you know, and that's what she said. Yeah, I know, I said it again. I'm gonna probably work one of those into every video I do. Guys, got the leather belt here. You wanted to come in here, choke up, do it like a precise cut. You could come in here, get your nice little precise cut there. If you had to for whatever reason, cut a leather belt into nice little pieces like that. You had to come in here and do a little chop. Look at that. Chop those little pieces right off. No problem. You needed to chop a piece off and then do a good hit on it so it chops it, you know. There we go. Guys, sometimes when I screw stuff, it doesn't look like it's not cutting. Trust me, it's not the blade, it's me. I'm not an expert and I screw shit up all the time, right? But if you had to come in here, needed to pierce this and kind of cut down the middle for whatever reason, split it, you know, you kind of come in there and do that. No problem. See that split there. What else do we have here? Oh, the yellow poly rope, as I like, you know, this stuff is always a pain in the ass to cut. Let's put this up here. Kind of come in here in the bottom. Choke up on this like you want. Bam, slice through that. You got that. Double this over. Bam, cut right through that, no problem. Got to, you can come in here, chop your pieces off. No problem. It's a big knife, guys. So, I mean, sometimes the little more delicate work can be a little tricky with a bigger knife. And again, I'm who's sending me messages? Oh, well regulated. Reese, the designer, just sent me a message like, hey, are you doing the video tonight? Reese, I'm working on it right now, brother. So you'll be able to see that. One of the other things that I like to try to cut is this. Have you guys seen one of my other videos, or actually on the Warhammer? This is some spa hose, okay? This is some ridiculously strong crap. I don't know. It's like it almost looks like a corrugated like pool hose, but it's not. It's like solid plastic. It's super tough. El Chete could not chop right through this. The Warhammer couldn't chop right through this. I'm going to tell you, I'm not expecting this to cut right through it either. I mean, I've gotten some decent kind of cuts, but I haven't had anything yet go right through this. And I'm actually going to do it with a high impact Tops axe here, because I'm really curious to see if there's anything that will just straight cut through this. But I think it's a good test to kind of see how much, you know, kind of penetration it can get. And then also I like to push cut through this because it's really a tough material. So again, don't expect that I'm going to cut right through this, but if it does, I'll be super shocked, and I'll be absolutely, well, I'm just going to tell you, probably buy one of these anyway, because this thing's awesome. But here we go, guys. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to try to hit that sweet spot again. Let me scoot back a little bit, see if I get a pretty good chop. Sometimes when I hit, this thing kind of bounces off. That's how tough this stuff is. So here we go. Ready? Oh, yep. So that's kind of what I expected. But it did do like what the Warhammer did and what El Chete did. It did start to cut into it, cut maybe about halfway through this material. So that's about what I expected. I'm going to give it another hit though. Yeah, so that's about what I expected. Again, I don't know what they make this stuff out of, guys, but it's ridiculously strong. So let's go in here though. So I'm going to get up on here. What's nice, because they didn't swedge this too much, is you could put your hand back here and really get in here and push cut if you need to. See, man, see, I rolled right off that. That's on me though. Check this out. This hose, I'm gonna find something that's gonna demolish this hose. What I really like about this tip though is once you get into this hose, it's actually not too bad to cut once you get into it. It's just getting into it that's kind of the tough part. So guys, if you ever got to have some sort of a water hose that you know you do not want to break, I'm going to tell you guys, go down to your local hardware store and find some of this hose right here, because this stuff is just stupid. Stupid strong. So there it is. I mean, this is a pain in the ass, but I am going to try to come down and cut this in half. I did have success with that with some of the other blades I had. Cutting down in half seems to be a problem. This way, maybe it's the geometry of the hose, and I don't know, I'm no engineer, but bam. Well, there went a piece of it. There you go. That was a bad hit on my part, but oh man, stuck that deep in there. That was another bad hit on my part. I totally missed that like a dum-dum. Guys, what is going on here today? All right, let's line up. Might have to put a laser red dot on this thing to, there we go. That's all on me, guys. Again, I'm no expert. So that hose is tough as hell, but we are able to get through it. Of course, here's the regular standard kind of pull hose, and you know, just like anything, this stuff is always pretty easy to cut through, you know, no problem. But I still like to show it. I'm making a mess. If feather sticking, okay, guys. So this is a big knife, and I got mosquitoes attacking me. So here's what is this? I always read this and I always forget, but it's 3/4 inch round, like kind of wood dowel. So you choke up on here, you can kind of put your thumb on the back, and you can come in here, start making some fire curls. No problem. Actually taking my curls off there. Ooh, those are some good ones. I'm no expert on fire curls, guys. One of the things I do see a lot of guys do is they'll stick their knife in, and then they can come in and do this, where they can shave off the pieces. Makes it maybe a little bit easier to get the angle of the bit if it's a big blade. The other thing is, with this 90-degree spine, you can come in here and do the same thing, but get you some nice, like, you know, scrapes off the stick there, you know. Get you some nice shavings for your fire, you know. So it's definitely, you could definitely do some feather sticking with it and stuff like that. You know, of course, if you had to come in and cut that piece off for your fire, you know, you come in here, bam, break it off. Cut it pretty clean. Not a problem. Now this big boy, let's say you had to make your there's a Bigfoot vampire running around out in the woods, right? You could come in here, do some light chopping down here, make your Bigfoot vampire steak, if you will. No problem. You had to come in here, I would choke up on it, do some, you know, you got to get that fine point so it'll pierce the Bigfoot hide, right? You can come in here, do some, shave off some chunks, which I really use all these chunks for your fire, by the way. But you can come in here, make your vampire steak or tent steak or whatever steak you want to call it. No problem. What else we got here? I do want to get into chopping with it, but we got to cut the extension cord, guys, because it's just fun to cut the extension cord. So come in here, trying to find the right grip here. Bam, there it is. No problem. I like cutting the extension cord because it's difficult to cut it, one, but how good of a clean slice can you get on it? You know what I mean? And because it's got 3 copper wires, 3 other more plastic in there, so it's not always the easiest thing to slice through, but slice through it, no problem. Come in here, chop little pieces off if you need to. They go flying on the ground. So if you had to chop it up, you could, or chop up some wire for whatever reason, you could, no problem. This is going to be interesting. This is a new medium here for me, guys. I'm going to sit that Bowie down. I'm going to show you guys what I got here. Yeah. Fire hose. I was able to finagle this old fire hose that was going to be tossed out. So this isn't, you know, they're not going to use it. It's expired, whatever. Dirty old fire hose. This is I think 5-inch. I think they call it a 5-inch around fire hose or something like that. I've never cut this stuff before. From what I understand, it's tough as hell because it's dragged through water, mud, dirt, glass, everything else when they're fighting fires and stuff like that. So it's got this nice canvas material on the outside. If I stick my finger down in here as far as I can get it, it's like rubber inside. I've never messed with fire hose before, so be kind of interesting. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off the hose, I don't know what you want to call it. So I'm gonna come in here. Yeah, this stuff's tough, guys. Wow, that's impressive how tough this stuff is. Because guys, this is sharp. So trying to just do regular cut like this is definitely not an easy task. Let's do the old chop test and see what happens here. I'm actually gonna come down here because I don't want to hit the metal. You know, metal on metal is never a good thing, right? So let's try this. Well, we know it'll chop through it. So give you guys a better idea of what this looks like inside. So this is like double layered up nylon with rubber inside of it. Not nylon, but like, I would say like a ballistic canvas material. And it even looks like the outside the inner canvas is actually adhered to the rubber inside the hose. So that's pretty interesting. So I'm going to chop another piece of this off, and I'm going to try to stick the tip in and cut it right down the middle. Let's do that. So I could chop through it, no problem. Cutting through it like this, a little bit of a task, which I don't want to say that it's the knife, because this thing is sharp. I've been kind of all just hitting right here. Let's see. Yeah, it's taking the hair off my arm still. So I'm going to come in here. Let's try cutting it down this way. Let's see what happens. Kind of scared I'm going to cut myself, guys, because yeah, geez Louise, that is some tough stuff. Let's do this. So pierces through it, no problem. Do a drag cut here. Wow. Guys, this fire hose is going to definitely be some fun material to test stuff on. Because, geez Louise, it does not like to be cut. Whatever they make this out of, they should make a lot of stuff out of it, because this makes me curious, guys. I'm curious. So I'm going to pause the video real quick. I'm going to go grab another knife. I want to make sure that it's not the knife. I don't think it is. I think it's that this is some really tough ass shit. And I'm going to go grab my Warhammer, and we're going to try cutting it with Warhammer too. And we're going to see how that holds up to this. So stand by real quick. I'm going to go grab that Warhammer. We're going to double check this. This is a new material, so I'm not sure what's, hold on. All right, guys, I'm back. So set the V44X to the side real quick. We're going to try a couple of things here. So one, here's the Warhammer. You guys saw my video on this. You guys know this son of a bitch is sharp and a nice badass blade. And while I got it out, I guess we could do a size comparison anyway. So we're going to chop this real quick. See how it chops, right? Chopped it, no problem. Cool. Just like the V44X. Now, I'm curious to see. All right. So that sliced into it, right? Pretty good. This has a thinner edge geometry profile than the V44X does. So that might be what's going on here, is the little bit of a thicker, more choppy edge on the V44X might not be able to slice into this as well. So let's try it on the other side. So this is the side I cut with a Warhammer. Let's try it with this side, on the other side with this. There it goes. So it took it a second, but once it starts getting it, it slices. It'll cut in there. So it's starting to cut in there. So the thicker, what I believe is happening with this is the thicker geometry here makes it a little bit harder for it to slice in. And now just to test that out, to verify it, I know this isn't a Worktuff knife, but this is the Exodus 4. It's a, thinner, more everyday kind of EDC knife. I'm putting this geometry thing to the test, I think. So yeah, so that cut right into it too. So I think the thinner edge geometry is a little bit more conducive to cutting through like this fire hose material. So that's what I thought was going on. I was like thinking to myself, man, this son of a bitch is sharp, but it's that edge geometry. But I tell you what, that edge geometry makes chopping this shit no problem. Here's another kind of a single kind of piece that came off. So let's stab this, and I'm gonna stab it and do a little drag pull through it. If I could stab it in the middle, that'd be nice. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that stuff is tough, man. So this is, for this type of material, this does not slice through it very well. Honest review, guys, right? That's what we're doing. But I'm not knocking this knife for not cutting through that. That's some tough ass shit, right? So, but like the fire, like the extension cord, everything else is great. But this thing is definitely got an edge for chopping. So let's do some chopping. Right here, guys, this is a not a seasoned piece, but this is a piece of a weird ass sequoia lime tree that I cut down. Pretty thick. It's dense. It's very, very hard. So we're gonna do some chopping on this, guys. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, look at that. See, that's what I'm talking about. That edge is, look, it just digs in there. You know what I mean? So it's maybe not the for slicing like a canvas material, it might not be the best, but for digging into wood, whew. Look at that. Get that sweet spot right there, and just starts going to town. Look. Look at it. That's pretty damn impressive. Bam. No problem there. I mean, you can see how big, thick around that is. Check this edge. I mean, I'm not seeing any rolling or chipping or glinting either. No problem. It's still sharp. That's crazy. Man, that hose dumbfounded me a little bit, but it's all right. Stand this guy up right here. I'm going to stand up, and we're going to hit this bad boy just right on top. We're just going to see if we can split this right down the middle. We're not going to be batoning, guys, because not that I don't think this knife can do it, but after watching some videos and learning a little bit more about geometry and harmonics and things like that, you know, the vibrations that come down and hit this area right here, if it's going to, not that I'm afraid it's going to break now, but or at all really, but you know, there is always a chance that when that vibration hits this area right here, it causes a small micro fracture that I can't even see. And then as the years go by, you're using it, and then that fracture could keep growing. Very interesting. There's going to be, I know some other guys with more knowledge than me putting videos out about that. And so I'm not going to really baton with this. Who am I kidding? I'm going to baton with it. So let's just put this right here. Let's grab this bad boy right here, and we're just going to go ahead and baton right through this one. Bam. There we go. Baton right through that. Let's check it out. Nice and straight. No damage that I can see. I'm looking right here. I don't see any cracks down here. Is that something I would recommend doing all the time? No. But God forbid there's an emergency, and this is all you had. You absolutely had to do it. You could. I just wouldn't do it all the time. So there we go. Will it baton? Yes. And will it chop some more? Yes, it will. We're going to chop right now. And don't worry, guys. I got some other really cool shit coming up right now. Let me flip this around. I like chopping it from this side. All right. So, dropping my stump here. All right, here we go. We're gonna go 30 hits right here, and we're gonna see how deep we get into this 4x4. Ready? Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Whew. That was a little scary, guys. I think I had my hand a little too close here, but that's my own fault. But look at that, guys. Chops into that, no problem. Guys, this thing is a chopping beast. If you were to put some sort of organic material right here, I think you would have no problem going through it. Chopping wood, no problem. Cutting rope, no problem. Pants, no problem. Phone book, no problem. That damn fire hose was a little bit of a problem, but I think that fire hose is going to give a lot of stuff with a thicker edged bevel a problem. And we're going to see that as we keep going through doing knife testing. I got a whole roll of this stuff, so we're going to be doing this with every knife from here on out. So I'm not knocking this knife for not being able to cleanly slice through that. Cleanly chops through it, no problem. If any of you firefighters out there are watching my channel, tell me what can this stuff go through? Like, what is the rating on this? Like, what's it designed to withstand? Because this has a pretty damn good edge, and you know, slicing through this was a little bit of a task. But as far as organic material goes, we're going to see what it can do. You didn't think I wasn't going to cut something like that, right? Stand by, let me go get it, and we're going to show you what it can do. Whew. All right, guys, we're back. Now on this one, I don't have this hanging off my little thing to do that kind of swing and cut. What we have here, guys, is, and gals, I know there's some gals that watch, which is awesome. Thank you for watching. This is straight up beef skin and fat. I mean, it's about a half-inch thick. And what I did was, this is a piece about yay long. I rolled it up in cellophane, then did another layer of cellophane over the top of it. So you have this nice, thick, you can see that, beef skin and fat. That's all it is, beef skin and fat. I mean, this thing is solid. I think it's a pretty good representation of organic material that you may or may not have to cut. You're out in the woods, you got a bear or something, you know, hunting, harvesting an animal legally and safely and ethically. And, you know, you got to do what you got to do to get the meat back home to feed your family. So you might have to cut through some really thick fat and skin. Obviously there's no hair. There's some little hairs on here somewhere in here, but obviously there's no hair, but I think the cellophane is going to add another layer of something to cut through. But this is literally just skin and fat I got from a local butcher. This is stuff that gets thrown away. It's not edible, so I'm not wasting any like food or nothing. It's literally just thrown away. So, but we're going to come in here and I'm going to chop it right here, and we're going to see if I can chop all the way through this. Now, bear in mind, this is after chopping through that wood, cutting through that hose, the rope, all this other stuff. And so it's time to see if we can cut through this material. Here we go. Oh, look at that. That was nice and deep. Oh, all right, guys. So I'm not going to take this out. I'm going to show you. It damn near cut all the way through there. I want you guys to see. That's a lot of fat and skin to have to cut through. Okay, so I think I can get through it with one hit, but I think I need to stand up to do it to generate that little extra oomph. So here we go. Ready? I'm gonna try to get that sweet spot because I hit down here on the blade. We're gonna try to get that sweet spot. Here we go. Oh yeah. Look, just that one last little bit of skin kept it from going all the way through. Oh, yeah, there you go. Look at that. All that fat on there. Got to make sure I pick all this up. Look at that. Right through there, guys. No problem. Now, I'm going to get my hands all dirty here for a second, because we're going to cut some of this up. Sure, I put this piece where I can find it. So, you guys can see, cut this off right here. Set this to the side. Try not to contaminate everything here. So, you guys can see, that's just a piece of it. This is how thick it was when I rolled it up. But we're going to cut it. And if you guys didn't see, I did cut up a whole cooked tri-tip with this, but you had to come in here and cut little pieces off. Make some beef fat niblets, bear fat niblets, if you will. Come in here, cut right through it, make little cubes, slice it, dice it, julienne it, if you will. So you could definitely do that type of stuff with this. Plus, with the weight of this blade, the chopping capabilities of it, if you had to get through some bone, I'm sure you could do it with no problem. I don't have bone to cut through. I don't recommend cutting through bone either, because it's definitely not good on any. Ask any knife guy. Cutting through bone is not always the greatest idea in the world. Doesn't matter what knife it is. But big old thick chunks of fat, beef like that, bear, deer, antler, whatever. Maybe not antler, but you know, moose, whatever. You know, if you had to use this to get through it, break down your animal, you could. It's got a nice enough tip on it that you can pierce the skin. This nice belly, you can, you know, cape or skin it out, choke up on it, be able to get in there and do that type of work. Guys, the Worktuff V44X is it's a badass Bowie. I love this thing. The weight of it feels awesome. It's sharp as shit. I mean, again, I'm not going to knock it on the fire hose. I think that fire hose is going to be a tough test for just about anything, especially if it's something with more of a chopping style geometry, which I feel this has. But chopping, man, this thing's great. It's phenomenal. What I really like about it is the weight. Like, I can generate a lot of power with it, but I don't feel like it's going to wear me out quite as fast as, say, like a heavier chopper, like the Hemlock Aries, which is a great chopper, but it's heavy. And if you're fat like me, you're going to get winded pretty quickly. I don't feel like I'm going to get winded as quickly utilizing this. Great. I think it's a great blade, guys. I definitely highly recommend picking one of these up when they come out. It's just a great blade to have to add to your collection. That's my honest opinion about it. Well regulated. You did a fantastic job designing it. It's got a really cool classic look to it, with a modern touch. Nice fullers, choil, everything about it's cool. I mean, I just really, really like this blade. And I'm definitely going to hold on to this one for a long time. I might actually even get another one, because I do have somebody who might be a Marine one day. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Greatly appreciate it. If you like the videos I'm doing, please hit like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, do all that cool stuff. But if you don't, that's fine too. I just appreciate you watching. My channel keeps growing every day. I keep gaining more subscribers. I know a lot of people just watch the shorts. If you're watching the long form videos like this, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to keep trying to make more videos like this for you. I do have some more cool stuff coming from some other makers. I'm not going to, this is the Worktuff videos, so we're going to talk about those, but stay tuned. I'm going to keep bringing as much content to you as I can. Thank you guys. I greatly appreciate it. Vic, well regulated. Thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to review this. I love it. And when the release date gets closer, guys, I'm going to start pumping more videos out on this. I'm going to do some more shorts, because I think everybody should buy this blade. So thank you. Stay safe. Stay sharp. We'll see you next time. Now I got to